What's up? What's going on? How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling?
Hey.
Wow.
Wow, look at that.
Hey,
Look at that.
what's up? The Dahmer room tour.
Look, man. I can't control where the direction the camera starts in.
It's true. Sometimes it just
Yeah, that seems like a real odd choice for Instagram. Knowing the direction most people go live.
Yeah. Well, you look like you've been
I sure haven't.
about.
No,
You sure haven't. But you got
I just figured I should not be full t-shirted up. I just woke up from one of those naps where it reminds you should take naps more. It was like one of those scary naps. Yeah.
Like where it felt too bad.
Where you wake up and you're like, oh shit. But like, yeah, where you're like, your body is just like, bro, you should do that every day. What's wrong with you? It's that energy.
Yeah, that's why, this camera's also making my skin look really clear, which is great because it's not. But I think that's what helps me keep the clear skin, right? Is sleep. Last night I slept 12 hours, like 12, 13 hours. I went to bed about 8, slept till 8. I felt like a professional sleeper last night. Literally, I had that thought in the middle of the night. I'm like, I could be paid to do this shit. I'm so good at this. Like, wake up every 3-4 hours, go to the bathroom, take the clearest piss of all time. You could swab a COVID swab in my piss. That's how clear it was. And then went back to bed like clockwork. 3 hours later, got up, took another piss. And I was just like, I'm knocking out REM sleep.
You go to sleep, you just say, I don't know if I should clock in or clock out right now. I don't know. I'm doing this shit for work, I don't know what's going on.
Right. I literally had thoughts of how good I was at, because I thought, I'm going to get enough sleep and it'll be 4 a.m. and I'll be fucked and I won't be able to go back. But nope, I was sick enough.
Oh,
that,
no, bro, that's my vibe. That's my vibe every time, dog. I wake up, I think like 7 a.m. every day and just can't go back to sleep. That's the only time I use TikTok is when I wake up at 7 a.m. I wake up at 7 a.m. It's a fucking night. Oh God! I wake up at 7 a.m. and I'm just like, I'll just look at my phone for a hot second, figure out what's going on, and then I'm in a rabbit hole. And then,
dude, it's TikTok and it's our comms that gets me so wired way too early. Like if I open up Basecamp or Signal too early, I'm just like way too overwhelmed.
Bro, that's half the reason I end up on TikTok is because I only watch TikToks from you and shit that gets posted in our Signal chat. I'm just like, let me just take a look at this clip, and then I'm on there for 2 more hours.
Yeah, it impressed me that even Z said he was struggling with the scroll hypnosis, because that's someone I don't think about as being online as much, or like scrolling through online as much. And no, it's potent. It can.
You know what though? He sends enough TikToks and like clips and shit, and I don't. Where I'm just like, oh no, there's a dark secret in there. I know he's hiding something. I know he's on there way more than he lets us on, bro.
Yeah, he'll be sending you like triple digit.
Yeah, he's like, no,
and you're like, nah, you had to be deep on the
FYP. Like, bro, you're not. No, you're not off this shit like you say you are.
I still he used to do like TikTok dumps on his fucking story, if you remember that. And I love that. I think that's the best way to do TikTok is everyone else stay off of it. And then the people who are too sick to like get off of it, just download the best ones and then throw 47 of them on your story at one afternoon in the middle of the day. And then cure it, because Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
It's really terrible.
I feel like if I did that, if I was really on TikTok like that, I would just post all the worst shit just to make people feel like, oh, it's not really that crazy over here. It's not that cool. It's just a bunch of bullshit.
Just only post sponsored content.
It's like
it's like a commercial,
right?
I just scrub brush or something.
I only post the full screen ad that's there when you open the app. It's all just like
it's like Papa John's and DraftKings.
Right. Some just Papa John's, DraftKings, fucking one of those weird TikTok or Twitter dildos that they post in the comments.
Have you seen a new one that just
there's always a new dildo? I don't even know anymore. It was like what was the Amber Rose one? The little like rose toy.
Well, there's
that's the classic.
That's the classic. You know, that's the Godfather. But now I'm seeing one, and it's a mouth. It's like a pink mouth, almost as if you put a bunch of fillers into someone's mouth, and it had that look, and then you chopped it off, and then there's a little tongue in the center of it. So basically, it simulates cunnilingus, but you could easily use it on any orifice you wanted, and it would probably be great. But that's the one sweeping the nation. I mean, that's the red mischief boots of Twitter dildos right now.
Yeah, they all kind of look like they could be used as like if you worked in a wood shop, like if you were actually doing some carpentry, like some real power tool.
They would
like a good sander. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like a good belt sander situation.
Exactly. Yeah. If you needed to polish,
right. Like if you were playing for the Yankees, you're just like, let me just grease up this bat real quick. Just that type of.
Yeah. Take out a rose toy.
You know what always bothered me is that all the ads are like. It's all just with like soap. It's all just foamy, just to like show the effect, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not what I'm concerned with.
I think. Yeah. You see the one with the banana, the crazy crazy banana cleaner, which is I've never balanced a feeling of. That could be great, and that could literally just like snap my dick like a bop it toy. That could literally just rip it off if it wasn't properly lubricated. It's terrifying to torque.
That shit is scary. It feels like you wouldn't even notice your dick was ripped off. Like you would turn around and you'd be like, "Oh shit, it's still over there." You know, that's
exactly. You'd think you were still getting robotic.
I think you can say jerked off.
Oh, what's that in the corner? Oh, I was saying robotic below.
You can say
okay. Yeah. I don't know what you can say. It's bizarre because it's like Instagram is they have some rules, but Twitter has no.
Oh yeah.
Twitter's the wild.
Yeah, Twitter is the blood it's violent over there. Twitter is like a Cormac McCarthy novel. It's like over here. It's just is. I feel like they're following TikTok's cues. I saw somebody get live bleeped out on an Instagram story yesterday.
They got
they got bleeped out in the story.
Oh, like they were live sent.
I was like, I don't know if that's like a filter or what, or I don't know what the fuck that was.
That's another level of concerning technology. Oh, wow, that's not. It was really weird because I was getting DMs and I couldn't tell. I think it's from my other account, but it was confusing me. So I was like, why is that person messaging Jaded? But it's not. They're not. Anyhow, thank you. Someone said Connor looking fresh. I really appreciate that. I made sure to kind of look good before the start. Some of us have to put work in. Yedoye is kind of
hey man, don't do that.
It's just effortless for him.
Don't do that. You don't have to do that.
It is. I know. It's just natural. It's just natural. You're looking at some all the time. I got to work on it. I have to shave
today. The shaving is a I have to manage my hair. I don't do a full shave.
That's true. Have you always rocked a beard?
Yeah, pretty much. I had there was a period where I couldn't grow it all out, so I just had to like the little goatee vibe. You know what's weird is when the rest of my beard couldn't grow in, this part was so fucking long. It feels like a wool. Yeah, it feels like a woolly situation. I just like it kind of just got sucked up and the rest of it filled out, and now this doesn't come out as much. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. I don't know why God designed it like that people can only get some beard, some can get the full beard, some of those guys can only do literally under.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that is. It's like, what is it, like energy cannot be created or destroyed? You can only have so much hair on your body. You can only have
it's like every time you see a guy with a huge beard, he's stolen that.
Oh yeah, like like under his clothes it's just bare, just like smooth, like spooky smooth.
That would be sweet, honestly, if you could decide where the
right. If you could actually get a say on that, you get to be in the conference room before you get born.
Yeah. Like, imagine having a hairier gooch than a mouth. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, damn. You know, my ass crack is hairier than anything I can grow on my face. That's fucked up. Some people, they can grow the most everywhere but their.
Oh yeah. If it's all back for you, that's a rough life. It's like you don't even get to enjoy that hair. Yeah.
No. And honestly, the mullet was one of the best things that ever happened to me because the back covers my neck, and my back hair crawls all the way up to my temple, basically.
That's good. You got a little guard situation there. You don't have to worry about bees.
Yeah,
no bees.
No, people like. Don't the Titans? Don't they get attacked in the back of their neck? So
the Titan. Oh yeah, I thought you meant the Tennessee Titans for a second. I was like, yeah, sure, I guess.
Don't the Tennessee?
If you slice the nape of a Tennessee Titans neck, you win the Super Bowl. That's how.
Yeah, dude. That was funny how we did watch the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, it was a good time
there. Are commercials getting worse, you think? Or is it just kind of?
I think the biggest mistake society ever made is making commercials funny. I think that's one of
breaking.
I feel like
breaking that.
They're gonna look back and see that was one of the darkest moments in human history. Is the second Old Spice, like Terry Crews was in the Old Spice commercials. I guess he wasn't even the first Old Spice guy. It was the I'm on a horse dude. That started just a dark trend. Yeah.
I mean, what was the first funny commercial? I guess you could say it was the Geico Get.
Yeah. Well, it was the caveman, I was going to say.
Or the caveman.
They had a whole fucking sitcom.
They tried to make it,
real fucking dark.
A sitcom. It's sad. Imagine being, well, it's like Flo. It's like, how much
she's like
getting of the progressive shit, because she's gonna be making
that's her whole life. She used to do stand up. I've seen clips of her stand up. Right. Not good, but it's but like she used to do it. Yeah.
God damn. I mean, because like what, a nationally syndicated commercial can pay you like 6 figures. So she's doing like 20, 30 of those a year somewhat. I mean, that's...
Yeah, and her rate, I'm sure, is higher than the average person. They need her.
Yeah. And she's on press or print.
Yeah. I mean, bro, you see they keep adding new people to the progressive shit because they're trying to get rid of her and they can't. They got her doing the Eddie Murphy shit now. She's playing 5 characters at once. She's playing her own father. And she, have you not seen that one? Or they do the little, they're like they're harmonizing shit. That's she's getting stronger, bro. Flo from progressive is,
oh my God.
Well, she's like Sauron, bro.
They got that little.
Yes, Jamie.
They kind of like
Jamie
diverted some of the power Yeah.
That's his, yeah,
that,
yeah. I don't know why I know
name,
that, but yeah.
Yeah, Jamie.
I remember the weirdest people's names, bro. I don't remember the names of people I like, but I remember Jamie. That's what's fucked up about it, bro.
But that's the guy's name?
That's the character's name.
Character's name. Wow.
That's fucked up, bro. Why do why do I know that information?
Yeah, they had to put in the twink contingency to kind of to siphon off some of her power.
Yeah, she's like Sauron.
Powerful. She is. Her eye is ever fixed. And it's also like if she wanted to, she could go work for Geico.
Oh yeah.
Stock price would go.
Yeah.
I mean, it just would. She's like at that
bro, when he
level of shit where
when he turned cold, that was a big moment. Yeah. That was a dark time, bro. It feels like everything changed. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Jared from Subway really the two like white guys in advertising.
Did you say
for the longest time?
Did you say white guys?
No, it said white guys. Because like, yep,
I'm just a regular white guy. You know, that's just me. Yeah. Always been white. Always gonna be white. Can
barely get through fucking. Can't even fit in an escalator.
Yeah,
I barely fit.
Yeah,
just wide.
It's like going sideways.
They call him the Dwayne Wide. They call him the
Dwayne Wide.
Dwayne Wide. Yeah, they're calling me the Dwayne Wide.
Yeah,
being wide actually. Yeah, man. She definitely has too much power and she needs to stop. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like she would be an amazing kaiju. Like in Ultraman way.
Absolutely.
Just a person.
Oh yeah. I feel like if I saw a Flow from Progressive looking in my like 20-story window, I'm jumping out. Oh yeah, I'm jumping out. I'm jumping out.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind being grabbed, like her arm going through like King Kong and grabbing me.
Oh yeah, that would be kind of hard.
I wouldn't want to die, but I would like to experience that. A giant kaiju or monster grabbing me. That would be fun. And just scream in their face.
Right.
In their face.
I would try like. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to die.
Do you think you could even like somebody that big? Do you think you could give them the flu or some shit like that? Like if you were sick and they grabbed you and you coughed in their mouth, like I feel like our flu isn't even big enough to get them.
I think you'd probably be best flinging your shit into their.
I mean, you probably shit directly into their mouth. You could stand up on the tongue or something.
Maybe. Oh, if they're like,
I mean, yeah.
You hold and you
just hop in and see what's good.
I would get some shit and probably smear into like the tear duct of their eye to try and get something in the way.
Yeah,
that would probably take them out. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they would have to have a pretty big immune system because they're eating trains and shit like that. Which are, I mean, like if you're Godzilla and you're eating an L train or the M train or something like that. That's a lot of.
That is true.
And shit.
That is true. You're just eating whatever,
all kinds of stuff. So I don't know if my shit flinging into their mouth is actually going to do it.
They probably got like, if we have like Osmosis Jones, they got a whole SWAT team in there. They got the whole, like the whole LAPD just in their body.
Yeah. What's Osmosis?
He was a cop. Yeah,
cop. I forget.
Him and Drix.
He's a cop.
Investigating sick. Him and Drix.
Yeah.
Drix was like
I haven't seen that movie in forever. I feel like that and Treasure Planet are two movies that like when they made it, they're like, we're never making a movie like this ever again. But
you know what? I feel like I haven't seen Osmosis Jones in a while, but it also feels like it's one of those movies that just kind of stays in your brain. It's like what the fuck else is like this, first of all, and also the details are just so like, I don't know, like Bill Murray eating a monk, like an egg that he grabbed out of a monkey's hand,
it's like, oh, this is
just a general
such a
a gross guy, but also his body hasn't adapted to him being gross in 40 to 50 years.
Yeah. Because what does he get? He gets some horrifying.
Yeah, I don't even.
He contracts.
Yeah, I don't even know what the disease is. It's just it has a sword. It's just it's a disease of a sword. Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I gotta go back and rewatch that one. I don't know if I've even ever seen it in full length, but you gotta go back and revisit.
Oh yeah, that's the best part. You know, that's what sells it for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
man. But Treasure Planet, to me, it's like I don't know why they didn't think they had like a whole franchise worth of lore.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it feels like that and Atlantis are kind of in the same, like, it was that perfect window where like where like CGI hadn't completely overtaken hand drawn. So it was like oh, somebody in the comments asked about Sifu. Yes, I finished Sifu. Yeah,
Sifu.
I finished.
Oh, you did.
It's one of the hardest games I've ever played in my life, but it was great. But what's fucked up is if you just play the game regular, you apparently don't get the good ending. You gotta actually be like, there's a bunch of different endings, and you gotta like apparently you can like spare people's lives. You don't have to like kill the boss at the end. And so if you just go through the whole game like that and don't kill any of them, then you get a completely different ending. And you get to, I mean, I don't know, maybe this is spoiling it, but I feel like it's fun to just play the game anyway. I don't care. But like, if you, also I spoiled it for myself. So fuck. Apparently if you don't kill anybody, then the final boss, you get like a second fight with him where they take away the like talisman that revives you. So you can only, so you only get one shot at that fight. And then if you win that, then you get the real ending.
That sounds really fucking hard.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah. It's crazy watching you get into that game. Because I feel like you didn't, when I was telling you about it, you were vaguely familiar with it, but didn't really know about it, which was kind of how I was. I would see clips about it on TikTok. And then I got it and I was like, oh, this is not fucking around. Like, this is, did you feel yourself get that much better at it? Like, were you more proficient at the upper
once you like
dodging and shit?
There's certain shit where you're just like, I'm fucked entirely. But for the most part, you figure out the rhythm, and then it starts to be like certain parts of it start to be almost too easy, where you're just like, oh damn, this is like you start to get mad that you had that much trouble with it the day before. You know, it's one of those games where it's like, fuck you, man. Like,
yeah, dude, those types of games are really incredible. Where, you know, for example, Jedi Fallen Order is a great example of that, where I literally got pissed at the fucking rams.
Oh, yeah.
And there's an early part in the game where there's these rams, and I don't think I was treating the game like it was an Arkham Asylum when I should have. I didn't have like the Dark Souls frame of reference for it, so I didn't really like get like, oh, the timing is super important, and you basically have to do parries. That's the only way you're going to defeat people. And also just generally how games like that work with R3, like you know, tracking and changing enemies and shit. So when I first played it, I was like, why the fuck is this so insanely hard? And then I remember I came back to it after playing God of War, and I was like, oh, this game rips, actually. And I played it until the very end. I bet I know you got stuck on that guy with the two swords, but you could probably kick his ass.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Because that's not even close.
Yeah, I feel like
the final boss.
Say Sifu really like unlocked that part of me where like, not a lot of games do this, but it unlocks like a persistence in me where I'm like, I know that I can do this, but I just haven't done it yet. I think like Yeah, I feel like Jedi. It's a really good game, but it doesn't scratch that itch for me. Where I feel like there's certain like that boss after a while, it just felt like, oh, this shit is impossible. Which obviously I know it's not because I've seen people do it, but I was like, I'm not unlocking that part of my brain that says I can do this right now. But no, the Jedi boss? The Fallen Order boss. Yeah.
Oh, the Jedi boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's got to come back.
Come at it with fresh eyes. It's easier to edit than it is to write. Don't know what the fuck that means in this context, but it's a fact. It's a real fact.
It's a fact. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what you think of the final boss in Jedi, because it's after that guy. The new one comes out in I want to say April, and they give you the fucking Kylo Ren sword. Oh, it's huge in this game. It's like fucking 7 feet long. Oh yeah, it looks insane.
That's really fire.
So I wonder what kind of different fighting mechanics will be.
It'll be sick. You could I was just watching a video on this. There's the fighting style, I forget what it's called, where you straight up just turn off your lightsaber and then turn it back on in their face. And it's supposed to be super cowardly or whatever. It would be so sick if you could do that in a Jedi game. You could just turn the shit off. Just do sneaky shit.
Yeah. You lose goodwill, morality points. You lose morality when you do it. But yeah, that's always been the thing. It's like, all right, your life's on the line, and you're not just going to give it a little one tap.
To
get through their defense.
Right. You have a weightless sword, bro. You can't how do you have principles like that? If you're already a Jedi, you're already defending nothing. Yeah. I would turn off my little beam every now and then.
Yeah, this person shoots lightning out of their hands. Yeah, I think you're just right in making sure they die.
Right, or at least, bro. Why are you giving them a fighting chance? Is that not more less honorable?
Yeah. It's like some marketplace of ideas.
We got lightsabers on, everybody. Lightsabers on, people.
Don't put your lightsaber on.
It's a forbidden technique.
I would personally say that it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited for that game. You know what? Did you ever play Force Unleashed?
Back in the day, I did, yeah.
That shit was so good, but it was also so disappointing. It was so short. I beat that shit in a day, I think. I remember
I remember
getting to Darth Vader the first time and being like, oh, surely this is the part where he beats my ass, and then it's I'll come back, I'll see you next time, or whatever the fuck. Like they say, they're like, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow for the fight.
Yeah, I'll get you next.
Yeah, and then it was just the final fight.
Yeah, there was two of those games. Yeah,
maybe that was the second one. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit at the end of Jedi, similar to that. I won't give it away though. But yeah, and then there's also fucking Tears of the Kingdom coming out.
Yeah. That shit looks. Yeah,
isn't that what it's called?
That shit looks amazing, bro.
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm not gonna say saved my life. That shit feels so much, but it kept me very busy.
As much as any could save anyone's life. Yeah, I think it did that for a lot of people. I mean, think about when that game came out. It came out the year after Trump got elected, or the first year of Trump's presidency.
Yeah,
it saved a lot of lives. Just being able to get it out of your head and go into Hyrule.
That the magical corrupt land of Hyrule. It's a good ass.
Yeah, I've never sunk the proper time into it, but maybe I'll just pick up fresh with Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like they probably improved some of the mechanical elements of it, but maybe not. I don't know. People say Breath of the Wild.
It's one of the best games I've ever played. Definitely the best. I mean, sure. I still don't know if this is controversial, but like my favorite Zelda game.
I think it becomes more and more of a normal take as the years go by. I think the impact it's had kind of stands alone. It's different than any other Zelda game. I feel like the last time you ever saw a Zelda game with maybe that much like wow was like Twilight Princess when it was like whoa, Link's like we're going back to mature Link and like it's on the Wii, it's crossover.
Right. Maybe it's just like always the first Zelda on a console. Because it was like Ocarina of Time first on N64. Yeah. Then was that the first one on I guess Wind Waker was the first on GameCube.
Wind Waker I think was the first one on GameCube. And then Twilight Princess was the first one on Wii. And then Skyward Sword was also
I just
really good.
started that for the first time. I never played it.
You got that on because I know it's on Twitch now. That game's great. That was one of the first games to use the slot, which was dope. It's like you really had to be precise with. I mean, that game was at its most solid. That game was a really exceptional Zelda, and I don't even play Zelda.
Oh, that.
But that one I remember spending.
I was always more of a Nintendo dude than anything else. Yeah, so I spent a lot of time. Although I didn't beat Ocarina of Time until I was 19.
I've never beaten that. There's so many classics I've never beaten because I didn't grow up with an N64. My cousin had one, but I always had a PS2, then a 360, then late in the cycle of PS3, then PS3.
I guess it was technically my brother's N64, but like we had it, we all, it's whatever. Who gives?
Oh, it's yours.
But we had Ocarina of Time, and he gave it to my fucking neighbor Wes he gave it to Blake, who was Wes's brother. You just hand off a game, just like, could you just beat this for me? And he was like, what the fuck do you get out of that? You just want to have a beaten game
for me?
like, right. Just evidence. Also, people in the comments are saying Majora's Mask gets no love, and that's true. That's real.
I always thought that's considered like the best, the most sophisticated one to say.
I think that's.
I feel like that gets the reputation.
Oh no. Look at the fingers.
Fine.
Yeah. I think that's the one.
And it's hard too because there's like a resetting element.
I never played it all the way through, but it's like what I've played of it is great. It's good.
I played most of these on emulators on my laptop, and like
that's when I finally beat it. It's fucked up because I beat Ocarina for the first time with like crazy lag that you would have never got on a fucking N64.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some of those. Like George was showing me, he sent me, or maybe I was watching this with Buck, or maybe you were there also. I don't know, but the Mario 64 speed running, kind of like lore. There's a way to like go upstairs really fast where you basically back as Mario. And it just flies you upstairs and shit. It's really crazy. I was going to ask you, by the way, are you watching The Last of Us at all?
I'm caught up. I just watched the last one yesterday.
Yeah. So without spoiling it for anyone watching, the community is very interesting.
Hold on. Somebody's on my fucking phone.
Wow.
Pe-
We have
People will just like, dog, I hate. Mate, they'll just ring. They'll just buzz whatever.
Whatever.
I mean, maybe that'll feed into whatever fucking point we get to. But yeah, I guess.
But yeah,
it was it was interesting partly because they point out before they get to that line that everybody's talking about, they also point out that there's a prison. But also, they're like, not that, yeah, they're like, we use the bank as a prison. Not that we even need it, really, but we have it. We got a prison. Yeah.
That's
like, I don't know if that was like a Chekhov's gun situation where they're like, we're going to use the prison for the first time.
Yeah, like, yeah. It's so interesting because I love both of those games, and they're really getting ahead of themselves in terms of fleshing out that part of the game, that area, that commune. And I kind of like it because I feel like they're establishing this lore. I also hope that they just keep running with this show like Game of Thrones. I hope Neil Druckmann just keeps writing and Last of Us 3.
Oh yeah, just outpaces.
Totally divert. I don't know.
This is the Last of Us Brotherhood.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And I just thought it was so interesting for our purposes. You know, that line where the characters, I guess I'm assuming this is the line you're talking about, that people are talking about, but they're like, no one here, there's no one in charge, and we all just share everything, based on whatever anyone needs. And one of the characters goes like, sounds like Tommy.
No. I didn't say no. I just said we share everything and we live on a commune. What's no?
And his wife goes, "This is a commune.
Yeah,
this is communism." And the thing that I like about that is, if something works, if people are free, if people are happy, it doesn't fucking matter what you call it. Because even people against communism, if they're living in a free community that's, fucking based on love, support, and, whatever, it doesn't matter what you call it.
I was hoping that we would talk about this because I was watching him in the episode. I was like, okay, is this going to change his attitude about the place he lives in, or is he just going to refuse to call it communism? Because one of those two things is true. I know he's going to have a problem with it still, but like, is he just going to, is he going to let that fuck up his attitude about this perfect life he has?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's like, it was so like, and I don't know if you could call you probably can't call what they have an eco commune. Maybe you could, because it sounds like their power is generated from nearby. So I guess that would be kind of eco commune.
I mean, it's the like hydropower situation, and it's I think she mentioned democratic governance. I think that's what does it to me, I mean, I feel like that's the part that does it to me, is that like, because what community is going to vote to like build an oil pipeline through their fucking community? Nobody. It's like that aspect of it, I think, especially if you're going by like a consensus situation. It's like that aspect of it is gonna prevent all this fucking like the keystone shit.
Imbalance.
Exactly. It's like we're naturally gonna trend toward being in balance with things because everybody has to agree on it.
Yeah, and I feel like in that episode, the state that they're at, where all they can get for power, all they can get is using the dam. It's almost like when you almost have to be in a community.
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah, because you're like, where the fuck am I gonna get plutonium? You know,
Right.
Uranium. I don't know where to find that. I feel like it. It almost reminds you that we go out of our way to fuck up the earth. You know, like it's so far out of our nature that we're just really putting an effort into doing shit like that. You know, like it's not even close to being necessitated by our conditions, our human nature, anything like that. It's just it's so stupid. It's so silly. But I don't know, man.
You might get a kick out of the podcast that Troy Baker does with the writers of the show. If people don't know, Troy Baker was the original voice of Joel in the video game, and he does a podcast with Neil Druckmann and Craig Hitler Ferguson. I think it's Craig Hitler Ferguson. I think is the other writer on I know what you're asking. Why do I use my middle name? And they like. It's really interesting to. I don't know. It's always interesting to take, like, look at things through a lens of like, you know, basically domination and hierarchy and all this shit, and try to interpret what the writers are really getting at, because you know they're like they're aware of these things. They know, you know, they probably have opinions about these things, but I think what's interesting is I listened to a couple episodes of that podcast, and it seems like they have this really interesting idea about love, and how the idea that it's like love conquers all, love is all you need, love is only good isn't the whole picture, because love is also what causes there's an underbelly to love. Like there's everyone who's fucked up in that show is fucked up also out of love or fear that their loved one will be fucked up or whatever. And I think the way they've shown
I feel like it shows like a good balance of like, it's more human potential than human nature. Like we're capable of a lot of fucked up shit, but we don't have to play into all of that, you know? Like I did get a little bit like shaky on it in one of the first few episodes where Pedro Pascal, you know, they do the little after show like breakdown of their motivations and their intentions in writing and all this stuff. Pedro Pascal was doing one of the little confessional interviews or whatever, and he said something like this show is just about like that inescapable human nature, you know, and how we can't get out. It just goes with us wherever we go. It's inevitable. And I was a little bit like, damn, is that really what they're going for with this show? Because I feel like it could be so much more than that. But like, but I take solace in the possibility that Pedro Pascal is just stupid. Maybe he's just, you know, a little him. Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of evidence to back that up. So I'm like, maybe okay, I can accept him being like pretty and dumb, and not really understanding what the show is about. And maybe that's good for his character. That's what his character thinks, you know?
Well, and what's funny is Neil Druckmann apparently, or either him or the Craig guy, were constantly giving him notes, like from a directing standpoint of like, Joel's not that smart. Like Joel's not that smart of a character. You don't have to. And he hated that. Like Pascal was like, stop saying that. But it's like Joel's character's not smart. He's very like
he says things like he says shit like you mean like communism, and he's dead serious. He's dumb.
Imagine going through the apocalypse and being like,
it's working in front of your fucking face.
Lights on.
Is she? You ever read history? This shit don't work out so good. You got nobody running things.
Right.
Somebody will run shit eventually.
Yeah. and they're like, they're like riding on a horse. He's like, well, back in the day, people had to own everything, and one that don't want to own nothing. And it was like, damn, that's crazy. Just way to cross section the entire
Like, and then Pedro Pascal's so fucking dumb. He's like, yeah, my character's perspective is everybody's perspective. Yep.
Yeah. Just talking about his character and character. Yeah, my character is damaged. Yes.
I love when they refer to their character in the third person. Joel's kind of a fucking idiot, and I love that about him. You know, he's that's how he really talks.
Like in the confessionals. Yeah, Joe's got this special thing where he's a dumb conservative, and stuff. That's important.
I love that. Actually, I love that he has. That he has his real accent, and then he has Joel's voice. So he's like, you get done with the character. He's like, you mean like communism? And then he's like, so Joel, he's like a kind of a dumb character. he's kind of a stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. They both him and his brother. There's a little something in their cadence.
Yeah, I think maybe they're supposed. I guess they're both still Latino in the show, but they're like Texas Latino, or they're still like conservative. Yeah,
I think so. I think there's a little twang of that in there. Which was interesting. It'll be interesting to see where the show goes. Like, you know, and then you look at Last of Us in general, and I think it doesn't really assert anything necessarily. I think what it does assert is like, you know, crap in is crap out. Like, you fucking go out and go try to get revenge. That shit's just gonna keep haunting you and haunting you and haunting you. And, you know, is that the biggest like revelation of all time, or like most insightful thing of all time? No, but I think that that through line of the like, everyone thinks what they're doing is out of love, right? Good intention.
I do wish
interesting
more people could like more Western art could kind of fall into that Gundam dynamic, where and like more people could understand it this way. Like, maybe it's just because Gundam is anime that people can actually like kind of divorce themselves from what they think. But yeah.
Saying that right now.
Oh wow.
I just had this on in the background.
But I feel like people are very astute when they watch Gundam, in that they just kind of see it as like war is hell. There's not really a good guy. It's the same thing with Attack on Titan a little bit, where people can kind of look at it like, kind of fully divorce themselves from what is the word I'm looking for? Just like aligning themselves with any of these characters, and really just like enjoy the show for what it is, and see that like, oh, this is all violence, it's all hell. Everybody thinks they're right, and maybe nobody is. Maybe somebody is. You know, it's like, and I feel like that's a little bit what you get from Last of Us. But I mean, having such a immediate lens on Joel as a character kind of takes that away a little bit. But like, I feel like you could get that.
I think the fact is that we need to have Neil Druckmann
on Jaded Forum. I think that's it. I think that's the move.
Awesome. It just on that point about, because I think it's at both points. It's at both times important and tedious, this conversation that I feel like we've been having for the past however many years of like, oh, bad person and thing makes thing bad, you know, like that type of thing. But like, it is so interesting. I wonder, even from how a Western perspective, like I feel like we crave a protagonist. We crave a good guy. And so we make whoever's our protagonist the good guy, even if there's so much evidence that they're not. Like, it's funny, and I'm sure we'll talk about this next time we do Jaded Forum, but like rewatching Breaking Bad now as a 28-year-old versus when I was 19, or even 18, 17 when I first like started watching, but like it ended 2013, so I was like 19. And it's just so interesting. First of all, the woman who plays Skylar is as good as Bryan Cranston. Like, she's fantastic. I forget the actress's name. She's pretty fucked up. I don't even know her name. But
I didn't know Bryan Cranston's name until you just told me something.
Yeah, Doyle. The Doyle.
Yeah, bro, she's pretty good. She's a pretty good actress.
She's pretty good. No, she's literally fantastic. Like,
Anna Gunn.
TV
Thank
is
you.
when, like, Anna Gunn. I feel like good TV is when you feel 3 steps ahead of the writer before. Like you can tell what's coming, but you don't. But the writer always shakes it out in a way you don't expect, and she really adds to that. But watching Breaking Bad now at this age through like a lens of, you know, patriarchy and all this shit, and watching, I mean, it's a fascinating show. Like, I think it's as fascinating as Sopranos in terms of how it displays like masculinity. Walter White's a totally like broken, toxic individual who, I mean, toxic is such a cringe word to call him, but like he truly is such an authoritative.
Bro, the way like he's, and I haven't seen the show in a minute, so like I'm gonna miss details, but the way like once this power shit starts to play out, that immediately also plays out in his sexual in his sex life, where he and like first thing he does out the gate is go and like fuck his wife after they haven't been fucking for this long period of time. It's just like it's almost
there's a part where he essentially like attempts to rape her too. There's a part in like the early seasons where she's like, okay, our son's getting home in a second. I only have to, and he just keeps going, and then she yells at him afterwards. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's like
scene.
Well, it's taken that first scene, it almost like extrapolates just the logic of like patriarchy to its final destination, because it's like it takes this first step where you say you might say something offhanded like, I want a guy that takes control, or I want a guy that does this, or like that like dominates, and then you really think about what that means in the long run, and you're like, oh, okay, it's that. It's literally the same thing that he was doing earlier, except now the circumstances are a little bit different. You know, it's like, and that's why that's such a beautiful show, because it takes that protagonist role and does what it's supposed to do, which is like the character's not always good, but you understand why they do what they do, you know, and you kind of realize, you have that realization of like, I don't know if I would be any better in this situation with all this power, or with all this access, and with all this fucking money. I don't know that I would be a better person than Walter White, you know?
Right. He completely epitomizes the pride aspect of patriarchy. Like, he is so prideful, it's fucking insane. He literally, out the gate, his rich friends offer to pay for everything. He rejects it, still decides to cook meth. He fucking would rather basically have his wife in tears instead of telling her what's going on, because he's too proud. I mean, he lies to her constantly. He fucking just, it's like he's psychotic. I mean, like, out the gate. And I remember in high school. Walking by, run it up.
They really be trapping for real.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's fucking crazy. It's just wild. He's such a fascinating character.
Yeah. And I mean, it just does such a great job of like, I don't know, this kind of saying the same thing again, but just like the empathizing as opposed to like relate. I don't know if that's the right, but like that's the problem I had with I keep meaning to talk.
Making it fully 3D though.
Yeah.
Like,
could you imagine if somebody seriously said to you, "I am the one who knocks"? Like, how I would be like, dog, are you fucking serious? Just tell me you sell drugs, bro. Like, it's fine. Like, whatever. Just cut me in on it. Like, stop being weird.
I think that's like also why, like Walter White, like the Breaking Bad, like the way it's 3-dimensional, they make the character 3-dimensional. You ultimately do see Walter White until a certain point. You ultimately do kind of look at him as a victim almost of systemic shit, of psychological shit, of natural shit like cancer. And I think that's what keeps you rooting for him or empathizing with him for so long, even if he's clearly fucked up and evil. I think that's maybe why Sopranos goes to that next level, is because it's still got that 3-dimensionality to it, but you find yourself still entertaining and wanting to see what happens to people like Christopher or Tony, and they're completely monsters. I mean, like, you can argue the validity of calling any human monsters, because we're really just we're monsters. If we're monsters, we're only to the extent of the natural.
It's all an extension of it,
or whatever. And but I mean, like, they are so much more actively cruel, and just like but the fact that you still, that's what makes Sopranos so insane, is he's shitty to his fucking wife, his friends, his son, his daughter. Like, he's shitty to everybody. There's nothing redeeming about, like, Walter White at least is kind of thugging it out to a degree. Like, you kind of respect the fact that he's just like, shut the fuck up, we're cooking this meth and we're getting it done. And Tony's way more infantilized, and he's like a giant baby. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's something with the current generation that, like, you know, the early seasons of Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Sopranos, these are like resonating, and they're in the meme consciousness right now. And I feel like it's because of, I don't know, I feel like it's just because of how that interrogates patriarchy. Yeah,
it's it really like pushes you to that limit where you have to question yourself too. You have to ask yourself, why did I love this character so much for this long? And I think like the Italian like mafioso trope was so ingrained that Sopranos has potential to do that. I mean, I haven't seen much Sopranos, but I know that's like the premise up front, is just like interrogating that character. And like, why do we fuck with that character so much? And you really get to like follow it. Like, I think in any other situation, a character that fucked up from the beginning, it would be like terrible writing, you know? But it's really like you start with a trope that you already fuck with. That's why I keep meaning to bring up that I didn't like this movie, but Tar, it like bothered me so fucking much. Tar, just like, it felt like they were trying to, it really felt like they were biting off a lot more that they could chew in terms of like interrogating patriarchy and systemic shit. It just felt like like it felt like I couldn't empathize with her. I didn't feel like, because I didn't see her motivations for any of the fucked up shit she did before the movie even started. And it felt like it didn't interrogate any of the reasons why, like it shows that she has power over people, but it doesn't really get to the meat of like, this is why she did what she did. Because you see her get kicked out of her position, and then next scene somebody else is in that same spot, but then you get the scene of her like rushing the stage and beating the shit out of him, and like it really emphasizes like, oh, she is fucked up as an individual. Like she just has this in her nature, and she couldn't have done anything else, even if she was just the first cello or whatever the fuck, she would have been like this. When the reality is like, this person who's taken her position is now just as susceptible to doing that shit. But like Todd Field, I guess, just doesn't have the capacity to ask those questions, you know?
I feel like, and to your point, it wasn't empathy I felt for her. I didn't really feel anything for her. It was more just kind of like, it was kind of like a film about like a nobility in medieval times. Like it's someone you kind of just like, this person has power. There's nothing really like immediately charismatic about them. It was kind of like watching a serpent or something, like kind of like slither around. Was kind of like what was, and I think what that movie was more fascinated in as cinema, what I think it was more interested in, and it's interesting to think about what if Tar was like an HBO episode series. Could be way more interesting. I think as a film, what it was so interested in was like creating that latent aggression, that latent evil under her, and that tension of just like, how dark is this going to go? How fucked up is she? And with the whole metaphysical, is there a ghost in her house shit? I think it was way more interested in flirting with that character, that premise, as just suspense, like, and like film, cinematic storytelling. But I think you're absolutely right that like, more, you could totally go more with that character.
Right. And I think like, as much as I fuck with like non-Western media, and I do think we kind of take this like good guy, bad guy paradigm too far, I also think as a Western filmmaker, you have to be aware of that. And I mean, it's the same challenge I have with like people trying to pretend we're post-racial without actually doing the work to get us there. It's like, people are too stuck in this binary, but you can play with that and say like, here's why, and here's the failure of that, which I think Breaking Bad does really well, is that you think Walt is just a good guy doing his best, and then you realize he's the villain. Whereas like Tar feels like the director is just asking you to set aside all your conditioning just to not view this person as a protagonist when they are, that's not.
I definitely think there was a degree of I definitely think there was I think specifically about that scene where she's getting in an argument with the student, and then it blows up, and then later it's edited to make it make her look bad, quote unquote. And to me, it's like, because I'm because I've seen other Todd Field films and shit like that, I'm giving him so much, like I'm skipping straight to what he actually is trying to do with the scene. I'm not as much gonna but I'm not as much gonna be there and be like, what's the intention, what's the perspective? Because I agree, the average person walking to that movie, like I saw a TikTok and it was like, oh, this is the greatest critique of cancel culture ever. And I'm commenting on the TikTok, I'm like, y'all realize this is a scene shitting on her, right? Like making her look nuts. Like, and I think there's definitely something to the fact that, like your post-racial analogy, it's like we can get to that, can get to that nuance, but there is something to be said that that not everyone that fucking sees it, and now it's going to be an Oscar-nominated movie, it's whatever. It's going to have that like Wolf of Wall Street effect where some people are going to watch it and be like, if only she was just not.
Yeah, right.
But
exactly.
People are going to be rooting for her.
That's my problem. Is like, I think people took it to be, when I was criticizing it on Twitter, I think people took it to mean like, actually, I don't even know what they took it to be, but like, it's just the fact that it can be read so many different ways, and all of them have like catastrophic impacts on how it's viewed culturally. I think it just makes me feel like he wasn't capable of making what he wanted to make. And I think that's really all that would sell it for me, is like, if it's pro Lydia Tarr, then let it be pro Lydia Tarr. And if it's not pro her, then let it be against her. But it felt like his intention was kind of lost in the whole process, and so you can read it however the fuck you want. Whereas you definitely don't get that with Breaking Bad or with let's say Gundam. Like just a bunch of like you know what the fuck they're going for.
Yeah.
You know.
What's funny with Breaking Bad is like I remember a lot of people still
yes
up until
right. Yeah,
he's our guy.
Right. And part of that is like he is up against the fucking DEA, which I don't fuck with, but like
and Nazis like
so like there is a little bit of an element of like, okay, we've gone too far, we got to keep people on his side a little bit, but like
right
but yeah, give him a beard
at least.
Show him having consensual sex again.
What? Let him have sex with his wife.
Yeah,
man. But shit.
We could talk all day. We could do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is a fragment, you know. So it can't be a fragment. It's just a whole piece. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if anyone actually watched this whole conversation.
Look, man, I've been watching the numbers flicker, so I don't know.
I just hope that I'm able to save this after the.
See, look at this comment. I see women becoming anti-heroes as a way of Hollywood being progressive and as a response to the success of Breaking Bad, Sopranos, etc., but without the complete work or nuance. And I fucking agree with that. It feels like some it feels like some separate but equal shit. You got to have your own movie and all this shit, but they don't put the same work into it. I feel like they do the same with it's the same thing they do with black characters. I have this theory that like there's the magical Negro trope that everybody knows, but then there's also the technological Negro, which is a subvariant of that, where they make this black character so smart that you can't call it racist, but it's still completely underdeveloped. You got dude who made Skynet in Terminator, the black man. You got Rihanna in Ocean's 8. You got Wade from Kim Possible. Wade from Kim Possible, smartest dude in the show, but doesn't leave his fucking desk. Cookie from Ned's Declassified.
Right.
It's an epidemic. It's an epidemic, man. They try to make these characters seem like they're more fleshed out than they really are. Die Hard Hacker Guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
that's right.
Somebody write a think piece on that, so I don't have to.
Yeah, the guy like. yeah. I don't want to write it. Someone has to. The guy who invented Skynet going.
Oh yeah, as he shuts. Yeah,
before he dies. Yeah. Wow.
Yo, come on, bro.
Foul, dude.
It has its own merits. First of all, Digimon arguably better anime, not a better product. Pokemon has a whole universe. Pokemon got a whole They got trading cards. They got video games. When are people really fucking with Pokemon for the anime? The movie was fire. The first movie, the first movie was Mewtwo was fire. Even Pokemon 2000, fire. I'll give you that. But as a anime, I don't know.
I just remember the episode where like Pikachu like almost dies and has to like Super Saiyan and save the day, or Ash has to like
at the end of the first movie,
something like that.
Oh, that's when Ash gets turned to stone, and Pikachu cries on him and brings him back.
Oh, I forget all that. I'm thinking of an episode where they take Pikachu has to go to like a fucking windmill or something, like a turbine. They have to like electrocute him.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Hey, look, man, all I'll say is Pokemon is capitalism incarnate. I love it, but it's a commercial for trading cards and video games. The anime itself, not that crazy. Gundam is the same way, for the record. Gundam does the same shit. It didn't have the same success, but it exists to sell little models. That's
damn near every good cartoon.
Yeah,
almost started like that. You know, Transformers.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Power Rangers, kind of.
But tell me a storyline.
Yeah.
Tell me a storyline from the Pokemon anime. Huh?
At times,
Snorlax was sleepy and we woke him up by the bridge. Yeah, come on. Fuck out of here with that shit. No.
I got nothing. Maybe we need to do someone mentioned Beyblade. Maybe we need to rip some Beyblade.
Did I ever tell you I was in a Beyblade tournament when I was a kid? Yeah.
Wow. How does it even work? It's just
yeah. There's not a whole lot to it. No weight classes in Beyblade tournaments. So I just had the regular tiny Beyblade, and this kid pulled up with the shit with a motor in it, and just heavy steel, and just launched his shit directly on top of mine every round. And I was like, all right, bro, cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Fair.
It was dark. It was sad.
The Beyblade money.
Yeah.
It's gotta be crazy.
Yeah. It's fucked up, man. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Maybe we'll rip some. But for now, guys, this has been another episode of Jaded Fragments. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, man.
Thank you for joining me.
Happy to be here.
We were going to do a full episode. I got struck by disease, so I was feeling pretty shit the last couple of days, but feeling better. So stay tuned for more Jaded shit, guys.
Coming back strong very soon.
We still. Can you still hear me? An alarm went off for a second.
Oh yeah, awesome.
We still need social media marketing people, editors, copywriters, coordinators, and it's not paid, but it's also not a job. We're trying to build with people that fuck with the show, fuck with our North Star, like get it, and probably have watched the show and all this shit. So jadedhub@protonmail.com, normal ass email, send it to that. And we're getting a lot of people emailing, which is great. So I'm just trying to keep that going, and you'll hear from us if we think.
Yes, sir.
So.
Yes, sir. I got some DMs from people. But, just email. Just email.
Yeah, just the email.
Yeah,
that's the central spot for us. Someone also messaged me asking me about it and stuff. Just be patient. Hit the email. We really appreciate it. You know, some examples of work, some little resume action, a little background, maybe why you fuck with Jaded and what we do. All that would be appreciated. So, anyways,
hey,
yeah.
Hey, bro.
Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna try and end this, and hopefully it saves it so that we can publish this.
Let's just.
I think
fingers crossed, man. I'm secularly praying.
Yeah. Same. But all right. Everybody, thank you so much. See you later. Yedoye. Peace out.